Hey guys, today I want to talk about fashion, um, which I know is like so ironic because I'm sitting in my house wearing the same old nightshirt that I'm one of three that I'm usually wearing in my videos. um, yeah, so anyways, fashion was something that was extremely important to me growing up. My mom was really into fashion and she would always dress me in like really expensive clothes, even if we had like no money. Um, and even into my teens, had to have like really nice things. And then I kind of just like took a detour for a while and was like, you know what, pajamas, all day pajamas. I would wear pajama pants to school in high school, and I didn't give a shit. Um, but then I did another U-turn back into like fashion matters, to the point where I actually studied. I went to college for a semester, and I studied fashion marketing, and I was like super into fashion at this time. I was like really into like the big designers, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with fashion, but I knew that I wanted to do something like maybe, I mean, when I was younger, I wanted to start my own clothing line, and then I thought maybe I'd be like a good buyer for stores or something. And the story with that, I won't go too much into it, but basically, the reason I didn't graduate is because I was doing it all online, as I like to do. And one of the courses that I needed to graduate was no longer available online. And I wasn't able to move to the place to do the course. So I just was like, well, I'm not going to pay more money so that I can't graduate. This is stupid. So I just didn't do it. And, anyways, I just kind of fizzled out from there. I still really liked fashion, and then I started to just kind of be like, you know what? What's the point here? What am I doing? What am I accomplishing? Nothing. Like, oh, people think, oh, that's an interesting shirt or whatever. Like, that's kind of the buck stops there. Um, and I know that since I stopped caring, things have gotten like more um, problematic as far as I'm concerned, because the rise of fast fashion is terrible. Like, and you know what? I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I also used to shop from places in China online and get them shipped to me, and I would wear them like a few times and they'd fall apart. Um, I used to shop at Urban Planet, and this is in Canada. I don't know what some of the stores in the States are called. Um, just cheap, Forever 21, Zara, all this stuff that's just cheap, cheap, cheap. And it was like retail therapy. I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling sad, I'm gonna go shopping. Oh, I'm feeling happy, I'm gonna go shopping. I would just buy stuff. Sometimes I wouldn't even wear it, um, because I would decide that I actually didn't like it. So this is a big problem because the planet is already inundated with crap. Like, there's already enough garbage out there. But here we are buying more clothes that we think, oh, well, I'll just donate it and it'll just get out of here, so I have more room for more new stuff, because there's, trends for each season. And even with fast fashion, I think they get stuff like at least every week. So, there's weekly trends now. Like, it's insane. People can't keep up with this, and people are trying to, and they're spending their hard-earned money on things that they just don't need. They think they need, but they really don't. Like, I mean, I'm wearing the same shirt that you've seen probably already 20 times. I don't care. People are going to judge me. That's their problem. I don't care. So, these companies that are making these clothes really quickly, just putting them right into production so quick, um, they are putting the savings towards the customer. Like, the customer doesn't need to pay a lot of money for this process to happen. So who is paying? Because it's not free. It's not like, as in, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Somebody has to pay somewhere. As in, like, you can't just design, produce, ship, all of these things. Like these things all cost money. So who's paying the price? It's not the consumer because these things are super cheap. Maybe they're paying as in like they just have to keep buying more stuff because it just falls apart. So who's paying for it? The business isn't paying for it. It's the people making the clothes. It's the people who are working at slave wages, burning themselves out, killing themselves in some cases because they just need to make that garment so that some person on the other side of the planet can wear it twice and chuck it in the garbage because they can't even donate it. It's like in shambles. uh, this is a huge problem that's been happening more and more for years. It was happening when I was into fashion. This is part of the reason I think why I stopped subscribing to, trends and fashion and all of this stuff because it's slavery. We're paying for cheap clothes so that people can be slaves. And I don't think that that's right for me. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's right for anybody. I don't think slave labor is cool. And I don't want to put my money towards it. And honestly, if I had it my way, nobody would be. I feel like it's important to know where your stuff is coming from, whether that be your clothes, your food, your makeup if you wear it. This is important stuff, guys. We need to stop turning a blind eye because it's cheap and that's all you can afford. It's just not working. It's not working for the planet. It's not working for the people that are making the clothes, and it's certainly not working for the people buying it, who again, you wear it like 1 to 5 times and it just falls apart. Or you buy it online and it doesn't fit you because the size chart is weird because every forking label has a different size chart. And then then what happens? It just sits in your closet until you're like, oh God, I need to get this out of here. And I'll say something, nothing ever really goes away. It never goes away. It's either in a landfill or being repurposed, which is good, but also it never really goes away. I'll tell you something else. These donation places are making money off of your garbage. They are. So there's good stories of donation places. Like, for example, this place I used to work in Edmonton called Find Furnishing Hope. Great place. They would accept donations, sometimes even pick them up if they were like furniture and stuff, or you have enough stuff to pick up. And they would be using that money that the general public would pay for this stuff to put towards housing people who don't have a place to live. That's great. I think it's an NGO um, charity. I don't know what it is. Anyways, that's a great example of, you bought too much stuff, you need to get rid of it. Good place to put it. It never really goes away, but at least the cycle continues. And somebody's getting, someone who really needs help is getting some money. Whereas places like Goodwill or Value Village or whatever the crap they're called, they're not really helping a lot of people. Maybe Goodwill is, but Value Village is not. It is a for profit model where people donate their crap that they don't want and they either try to sell it in their store or they ship it to countries that don't have a lot of money, businesses that don't have businesses in the country that don't have a lot of money, and they resell it there for, fairly cheap. So this is happening here in Cambodia. This is a huge market, the secondhand clothing market. There's a place called Sakura that's really fun to shop at for me, but it's Japanese secondhand stuff. So it's like all the stuff that people, in Japan didn't want. They said, oh, I'm not, I got to clear my place out. And then this business bought the stuff at whatever, maybe a cheaper wage, and now they're reselling it. no, I don't think anybody other than the people that are working for this company are getting any benefit. Like it's not like, oh, and they're helping the orphans. Like they're not helping anybody. They're just lining their pockets. So this is a huge thing that is happening worldwide, a really big thing. Um, to the point where when I was in Uganda, I found out that these secondhand markets or secondhand clothing stores have actually destroyed the local fashion economy, like as in the local seamstresses and people that are making clothes now can't compete with the prices of these secondhand markets. So a beautiful part of the Ugandan culture is dying or is already dead because of these secondhand clothing markets or shops. And then people are wearing these clothes that like they're not even good quality in the first place. Like I'm not joking when I say that my husband, while we were in Uganda, saw someone wearing a t-shirt from his high school. I'm not kidding. It wasn't like, oh, well, maybe that was, no, it was for sure his high school, all the way in Uganda, somebody just wearing one of those shirts. Like, how does that work? And it's not right. Like, we people from the West are so privileged that we don't even realize the damage that we're doing by buying cheap stuff. And not just for the people that are making it, but again, now it's like the second wave of damage is like damage to the environment, damage to the local economies of different countries, just because we want to have new stuff. Consumerism is a problem, guys. Like, it's a problem. If people are judging you for wearing the same outfit twice, fuck them. You know, they're not important. Their opinions don't matter. They don't matter. They don't matter. What matters is love. And if they're not loving you, then they need to hit the streets and move on because we're we're doing things that are not based in love. Consumerism is not love. It's not happiness. It's an empty promise of feeling fulfilled and feeling whole, and it doesn't do that. So, guys, I know that it's tempting to just go to the mall and buy something new for yourself to try and make yourself feel better. And there's a difference between something you need versus something you want. Don't do it. Don't do it. Maybe instead, go through your closets and wear something that you haven't worn in a while. Repurpose something. Get creative. Redo something. Like, tie dye something. Why not? Like, use the stuff you already have. Or if you feel like you absolutely need something, go on to like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or Kijiji, whatever people are using these days, and buy something directly from someone. Don't buy it through a company. Don't buy it through some corporation, some BS crap that's going on. Buy it from your neighbor. It's a way to build community. It's a way to get to know people around you and see that we're not all bad. Like, most of us have very good intentions, and the people that don't, it doesn't seem like they're doing their best, but they don't have the tools available to them to do better. So we love them anyways, even if they're, you know, baddies, if you will. Because honestly, from uh, impoverished country standpoint, the people that are buying these stuff are bad people. But we know that we're not bad people. We've just been brainwashed. So just be aware of what you're consuming, what you're buying, what you're putting into your body, what you're looking at, all of these things. It's so important, guys. We can do better. I know we can do better. Well, thanks for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day. See you.